might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, November 13th, 2023. We are slowly edging closer and closer to the end of the year, or maybe it's going really fast for you. Who knows? All right. So we are in our morning show. We are going to take a quick look at some news stories, and then we are going to get into our coding challenge, which is the rock, paper, scissors challenge from Don at Chaos Camp. All right, so let's get into it. So before we get into it, very quick announcements. Tomorrow night we have a cybersecurity Q&A session with our good friend Nico Socks, and we are going to do that. My stream is going to start at 7:15, the regular time on Tuesdays, and he's going to start streaming on his channel at 8 p.m. So whoever channel you want to join on, that's up to you. But we will be happy to see you there and answer all of your questions. So next thing, it's already in the chat. Check out Astrid Malone's check out her fireside chat talking about her transition from business development into customer success management. So that is on Wednesday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The link is in the chat and in the description. So click on that, register so she can know who is going to show up, all of that. All right. So next up, check out Candid Conversations coming out at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. It is going to be a good one talking about, do we still need manual testing? All right. So check out my perspective on it and let me know what you think, and we will continue. So with that being said, if you haven't done so yet, so I just noticed, right? When you open up a live stream on a mobile device, the first thing that pops up is the chat, right? So I understand why you don't remember to like the video and share the video, but close out the chat for a second, click the like button, and then open up back the chat and then have as much fun as you want. So let's do that and let's get into our agenda for today. So I am going to start this up. And I am going to put up our timer, and we're going to do 5 minutes. And we're going to start looking at these news stories real quick, all right? All right, the first one real quick, it says investors ghost dating app stocks. So more members of Gen Z are saying that they'd rather meet people face to face than via swiping. And Wall Street Journal no longer seems that into and Wall Street no longer seems that into dating apps either. Shares of the big dating app companies are sharply lower this year amid slow revenue growth. Axios reports Match Group, the parent company of Tinder and Hinge, is down 28%. Oh my goodness. And Bumble is down nearly 30%. Bumble shares were rocked recently after the company's founder and CEO, Whitney Wolfe Herd, said she's stepping down and will be replaced by Slack CEO Lidane Jones in January. That is very interesting. I'm also interested. I also find it very interesting that Gen Z say they rather meet people face to face than via swiping. So times have changed, right? Match Group president Tariq Shakut resigned as president in May, Tinder's first woman CEO, Renee Nyborg, left the company last year. Nearly 80% of college and graduate students don't use any dating apps, according to a nationwide Axi- Axios Generation Lab survey. So that is very interesting. I am quite surprised to hear that. Let's see. Let's see here. Anything in particular? So when he, well, Heard announced on Monday she's stepping down as CEO of Bumble. Dating app launched as she launched the app as a co-founder in 2014. At its peak, it was worth almost $8 billion. I wonder how much it's worth now. With investors confident it could leverage its woman-forward approach into building a thriving user base of paying daters. Huh, that is very interesting. That is very interesting. Anyways, that is enough of that one. Workers seek obesity drug coverage. Many U.S. workers want something added to the list of corporate benefits: weight loss drugs. Huh, okay. Currently, less than half of large companies cover the popular medicines, which include Ozempic, Weg, Wegoy, Wegvoy, I don't know, and most recently Zepbound. But an additional 18% of employers say they may add them given their widespread demand. According to a survey by Mercer, the human resources consulting firm polled more than 1,000 companies before U.S. regulators approved Eli Lilly's Zepbound. Coverage is all but essential with list prices as high as $1,350 a month. What is $1,350 a month? Huh, that's interesting. Nearly two-thirds of companies plan to enhance their health and wellness being options for next year to include menopause benefits, help for aging family members, and student loan assistance. Huh, that's interesting. So, student loan assistance. Wonder how they're going to do that. Anyways, let's keep going. Time is ticking. So, right into this one. Wellness spending explodes to $5.6 trillion. The global wellness industry raked in 5.6 trillion last year, according to a major industry group, and by 2027 it's expected to grow to 8.5 trillion. My goodness. The industry as a whole, which includes everything from personal care to beauty to nutrition and gym attendance, has rebounded surprisingly quickly from the pandemic. Spending on public health and prevention, in particular, has grown by more than half since 2019. One sector that's shrunk since COVID's arrival: workplace wellness, such as fitness classes offered by the employers. At about 5,100 a year, wellness spending per capita is highest in North America. In Europe, that figure is under 1,600. So they're saying we spend 5,100 a year, and in Europe, 1,000. I would agree with this because the amount that I pay for my wellness and training and all that type of stuff, it adds up, right? And let's take a quick look at this last one. Moody cuts credit outlook, citing rising risk to the U.S. government and to the U.S. government's fiscal strength. Moody's investor service cuts its debt outlook for the nation from stable to negative on Friday. The agency attributed the move to rising interest rates, a lack of effective fiscal policy measures to reduce government spending or increase revenues, and continued gridlock in Congress. The latter is an especially pressing factor ahead of a possible government shutdown, which could come once the current funding bill expires on November 17th. Moody's Moody's warned against a federal government shutdown in September. Moody's affirmed its top rating of AAA for the U.S. It's, it is the only major credit agency still assigning the U.S. a top rating, but downgraded outlook increases the chances of a change, CNN reports. So, while we are not spending as much on our dating apps, right? The investors are saying, you know what, forget these dating apps. Workers are seeking to be covered for obesity drugs, and we spend so much money on wellness, over $5 trillion, and Moody cuts the United States credit outlook to from stable to negative. And it's surprising that it just happened, but it is what it is, and we shall move on. All right. So that is our quick news stories for today on the job market and the, overall health of the economy, according to Moody's. All right. But without further ado, we will not let that stop us. We have work to do. All right. So
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
and I can do that. So what we're going to do, we are going to just put 25 minutes on the clock tonight. All right. Put 25 minutes and we shall get going. So today we are doing Chaos Camp Challenge, and I will post the link in the chat, and it is also in the description of the video. But this is the rock, paper, scissors challenge created by our good friend Don. And we had already reviewed Stephanie's implementation of it on I think it was a Thursday night live stream. But we are going to do it for ourselves as well. So let's go and get to it. All right. So this is the challenge. The link is in the chat and it is in the description. All right. So let's read about what this challenge entails. So you've been provided with a rock, paper, scissors API. Your task is to write a series of tests against the API to ensure its correctness. Along with the basic test, you also need to test if the computer's weapon choices are indeed weapon, all right, are indeed random. So what I'm going to do, I am going to open up my Notion and we're going to go to, let me find this. I have to organize my Notion somehow, but let's do Chaos Camp. Let me move this into view. Or yeah, I'll move it over here. Chaos Camp. Rock, paper, scissors. All right. And we're going to do an empty page. So let's take our notes. What we need to do, right? So we need to first, let's probably go, we'll probably do this for like 2 or 3 days. All right. So we're going to do, let's do the to-do list. And we need to so basic tests, all right. Ensure correctness of API, basic test. Verify computer's weapon choice is random. All right, so there goes pretty much what we have to do, and we can probably list this out a little better as we get into it. But let's go and do this. So now we're gonna do endpoints. And on yesterday's live stream going through Terraform, I was able to start this up on a EC2 instance through infrastructure as code and have it output the IP address so that we didn't have to go into EC2 to we didn't have to go into EC2 in order to get the IP, we just outputted it. And we have up early chasing the bag. That is right. And so are you. I am happy to have you here. And I'm going to do a quiet welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. All right. So we are doing the rock, paper, scissors challenge. And so let's write out our endpoints. So post and then API play. All right. And then so we have the response. So the choices, we're going to just pass rock, paper, or scissor. And then when we pass that to the API play endpoint, we are going to get a response of what our weapon was, right? So let's write down the validation that we're going to do, right? So validation. We're going to do both. We're going to do the weapon we passed to the request is the weapon that is returned as your weapon. And keep in mind, when we're doing this, right, not only are we validating that the application is working correctly, we're also validating that the documentation as well matches. So this says your weapon, so we should expect to get your weapon. We actually use the API, right? And it is a string. It's a string. All right, and then now validate the computer's weapon is a string. Validate the winner is a string. And it's correct, right? Because we also want to make sure that we have the correct winner. But then we have another test that says, what happens if you don't enter one of the three choices, right? So we'll have to take a look at that. So basic test. All right, so API is up and running, so we can do that. So let's add that to our, so that's the validation of the gameplay itself. So for the basic tests, we can list that out as well. So we are saying that API is up and running when you send a request. You get a 200 or 400, means that it's up and running. So like we mentioned earlier, if you send one of the you send an option that's not one of the three choices, then we get a 400 for invalid weapon, and we should get a 200. It's going to be one of in the 200 series for a valid response. All right, so the game logic when you play rock. All right, so I'm not going to write this out, but we will actually, let me just copy it. All right, so we go here, game logic, and then the randomness test, right? So we'll come back. So the randomness test is what we're going to do last, but for the randomness test, you run the play endpoint 1,000 times and you record the computer's choice each time, right? So this one is only focusing on the computer's choice, and we're calculating the percentage. So we got to do math. Thank you, Don. And it says if the distribution of the weapon is 30 to 40%, then you can consider it random. All right. So we are going to do this. So you can do this test in Java. You can do this. You can do this test in like Cypress. You can do this like with you can do it with Rest Assured. We're gonna do it in Python because I've been like I use Python mostly nowadays. I could do it in I could spin up my Rest Assured days, but we're gonna do it in Python. So all right, expected deliverables, right? Let's copy this because this is what makes or breaks our testing, you know? We got to know the deliverables are, right? And there's a couple of things we could do, right? So I'm going to give you this example of creating a QA portfolio. So you remember when we did the Kiwi test case management system? So if you were to spin up your Docker instance of Kiwi and then you document your different test cases in there, right? And then you go ahead and you complete the challenge. You have all the test cases. Now imagine when you are in an interview and you can show them that, oh, I did this challenge from Chaos Camp, Rock Paper Scissors. I validated this. I documented my test cases in the Kiwi test case management system, and it is like so well organized on how you are being creative for your self development, right? And that looks really good on you. Okay, so we got to get Docker started actually. So let's get Docker up and running. I might actually have this already installed. Let me see. I don't remember. Let's see. Images. Nope, I don't have it. So we are going to do it together. So let's close that and let's open up a. I could do it and just do everything in PyCharm. So we are going to do Chaos Camp challenges. And we're going to, so let's move this over here and let's swoosh over to the other screen. All right, so we have our PyCharm open. And this was from the other challenge. Let's go ahead and close. Oh, actually, no, we'll close this right here. But we're going to go and we're going to do a new directory. Actually, no, we're not going to do a new. We're just going to go into the here and cd ... And we are going to clone this repo. So we're going to do git clone. And now we should have our rock, paper, scissors pop up in here. And we're going to change the directory into the rock, paper, scissors challenge. And here we are. And then we are going to, I'm going to do, oops, whatever, cd. Okay, no big deal. So we are here and we are going to do, we're going to build our image. So according to the documentation, we are, so let's share it real quick. So we're going to do, we're not going to do it locally. We can probably try it locally another time, but let's just get this up. I love using Docker to do this because it makes it so much easier, right? And we can probably use this when we go through our Docker series. We can probably use this as an example, but let's just go and build the Docker image. So copying that. And we are going to build the image. It should be pretty quick because it's not a big image. It's just using Python 9. While that's happening, we can take a look at the Docker file. So it's using Python 3.9 slim tag, right? The tag is 3.9 slim. It is saying the working directory is app. It's copying what is locally here, right? The dot means copy everything. So everything that is here is copying it into the app folder. And then it's saying run pip install no cache directory -r for requirements. So it's going to run this file inside the image, like when it's being built, and then it's going to execute this command once the container, like once you try to start the container. So it is done building, and we are going to do Docker run. I'm going to do N for name. We're going to call it TCR rock, paper, scissors. And we're going to do -D for detached. Doing the detach, we're going to keep control of our terminal. And then we're doing -P for port 8080 on our computer is going to map to port 8080 inside of the Docker. Port 8080 on our computer is going to map to port 8080, which the application is set to run on inside of the container, right? Because that's what it's saying, like run it, listen to all network interfaces with port 8080. So that's what's happening inside the container for this application. This application is running on port 8080. All right, so we can do that. And we do the name of the image, which is rock, paper, scissors, API. And if we launch that, we should, oh, what did we do wrong? Unknown shorthand. Did I put it in the wrong spot? Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so -N is supposed to work, but whatever. Doing it with -S name, got it to work. So now, if we go to access the API, so let's go to actually, no, we're going to use Insomnia. So let me pull up Insomnia. Insomnia is another API testing tool, like Postman. So let's do. All right. So pulling up Insomnia over here, and we are going to do a new HTTP request, and we're going to do a post as the documentation says. It says it here, but we're going to use to access the API HTTP :/ localhost 8080. We're on port 8080. And then we're going to do API/play. And our request body is going to be, so let's just try to get it to work first. I'm going to copy this real quick into here, and we're going to say the body is JSON, or we're going to paste that, and we're going to remove this, right? And after we do that, then we'll take a look at the documentation, which is done through Swagger. And let's do a send. And this is the same error I was getting yesterday. Input should be a valid integer, unable to parse as string. Input rock. So let me see something. If we go here, so let's say that we are going to write up a bug report because I don't think you changed anything though. Let me see something. Because this was not happening before. But we might have a bug. We might have a bug. let's take a look at these right here. That's weird. That is interesting. So, okay. Post play list weapon. That is interesting. Let me try. See, this shouldn't work right here. Huh. If I go like that, I get an error. I go like that. But I remember when. That is interesting. We will have to. We're gonna write up a bug for it, right? So let's do this. Why don't we just write up a bug real quick, right? So let's go to. Let me do this. We found a bug. Let's go here. And we're going to do a blank. Let's go here. And we're going to do. So this is how I write my bugs, right? So I'm going to say summary. I'm going to create the outline real quick. Summary. What's the problem? We're going to do expected results, actual results, code snippet if we have a shot. And is there anything else we need? Environments. If there's any other things you'd like to add to your bug report, leave me a comment or put it in the chat, and we'll see. Maybe it is worth adding. All right, so let's go like that, and we're gonna go to here, here, here. So, I would say, so let's make this a little smaller so we can see. All right, so we're gonna say, according to the documentation. Actually, let's look at the Swagger real quick, right? Let's look at the Swagger real quick because this should also be telling us what gives, because so play request, right? See, I don't like this because I like the way that it is in the documentation better because you'd have to remember what rock is, what paper is, what scissor is, 1, 2, and 3, when being able to pass it as a string or an enum would be so, like, it's easier to know what you're playing as, you know. So I'm gonna put it as a bug or as an enhancement. But there is a bug. Like in the documentation, there's definitely a bug there because they don't match, right? So let's say according to the documentation, which is different in the Swagger, or let's say according to the README. which differs from the Swagger documentation, we should be able, or we should be passing a string or enum into the post request to API.play. Yeah, I forgot the most important one. Look at that. Look at Andrew in the building. But thank you for calling that out. I normally put the steps to reproduce right here. I'm going to put it right there. That's where I normally put it. So we are writing. All right, so to play. But it is requiring an integer instead. All right. So
Lunch break. Lunch break.
all right. So we are at time, but I'm gonna finish writing this. Defect report, and then I'm gonna submit it to the repo, and we'll see what they say when we return. So expected result. So the expected result is I should be able to pass the string or enum for rock, paper, or scissor, as well as the integer, and be returned the play response. So I want to. So my expectation is we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna go. So this is what my expected result should be, right? However, when I pass the string to the endpoint, I am returned an error message, which we can say rock. Enter. Oops, not that one. That one. And we are getting this. Paste that in there. And the steps to reproduce. Guess we don't have a code snippet because I put it up here. But steps to reduce. Let's do our bulleted list. And who would have thought we would have been writing a defect report this early in the morning? But the defects live on, and we must be vigilant in getting them reported because we do not want a bad customer experience. Number one priority, customer satisfaction. So steps to reproduce, send post request to endpoint. And we can just do API play, or I just copy the whole thing. And we can say with request body of oops. Okay, take that, and we're gonna go to Where'd you go? With request body of that, and then you should get the response. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And then the codes. So we don't have a code snippet because we already provided up there, and we can provide a screenshot of insomnia. So let's do that. Copy. And we're going to paste that in here. And our environment is the local environment. Docker build. Per instructions. And let's do this. Let's add a note, right? We're going to add a note. And the note is going to say, while the Swagger documents. So this is the part where, as a QA engineer, where we have the customer's best interest in mind, we are going to write a note with a recommendation saying, while the Swagger documentation says that you should be using the integer, the README says that it should be the string of the weapon. From a customer and quality ease of use perspective, I would recommend that we use the string even if using the integer is still an option. The customer will not necessarily remember which integer is assigned to which weapon. All right, so there goes our note to the developer. And anything else that we need in here? Okay. I wanted to add as well expected, and let's say status code of. So to get this the right status code, let's say we pass a 1 here, we should get a 200. 200 actual status code 422. Right? So now we have all of our documentation for the developer, and that they can easily reproduce it, and they can give us some feedback. They can fix it, say, oh, we should do, or give their reasoning on why it's built that way, but we report it. And if you're using Jira, you would put it in Jira. I'm going to put this CC, rock, paper, scissor, buck. All right. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to go into here, and I am going to open up an issue. I'm going to put an issue with chaos caps thing. All right. So let's go to new issue, and we're just going to drop it in here like it's hot. And we are going to put a screenshot. How do you put a screenshot in here? Let's see. What is going to be the name of this? So we're going to do bold. Or do I do like and here we're going to do let's do a preview real quick. All right, cool. So let's do that. All right, do 3 of them. And get that cleaned up real quick. Not sure if I can put the preview. And what we can do is put that as code preview. Yep. Make it all nice and pretty for your developers so that they can not waste time looking around for stuff and they can actually fix the issue. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Note should get that as well. And I wanted to put a screenshot. Am I able to? Oh, we could do that. So, oh, crap. We have. All right. So, let me take another screenshot of it. And let's do. And let's save that to desktop. And let's attach a file. And we are going to. So let me go here and go to the desktop. And where is that file? All right, so now we go right here. And let's preview. So we have our expected result, we have our summary, expected results, actual results, steps to reproduce, screenshot, environment, note to the developer, and we give a title of post request at API/play requires integer instead of string. All right, so we do that and we're good. So now we are going to submit this new issue and we put it through. And here we are, and we have our bug created. All right, so there we are. Let's get back to full screen. Went a little bit over time, but here's the thing, right? Why do we go over time? Because we found an issue, and we can't just sit on the issue because it's time to go because the workday is over. No, we got to get the bug reported. We got to have we have to make sure everything is lined up so when the developer gets to it, they can fix it. And just because it's the end of the day and it's time to go, that doesn't mean you just drop everything that you're doing. You got, like, if you're in tech, some days are going to be very long, and you got to get the work done. Number one priority, customer satisfaction. If that is not for you, if you don't like that, then you got to go find something else, right? So if you want to have a specific clock in, clock out, tech might not be for you. So remember that. And so that's it. Let's get this off the screen. All right, so we are done for this morning. I will see you guys. So before we go, Candid Conversations coming out at noon. I will see you guys tomorrow night for the cybersecurity Q&A. And then I'll be back here again Wednesday morning for more Koffee and Kata. And we're going to continue with this rock, paper, scissors challenge. Just because we found this bug doesn't mean we can't continue working on it. And then once the bug is fixed, then we adjust our request to be the right thing. And lastly, before I go, second to last, click on the link in the description or in the chat to sign up for Astrid Malone's Fireside Chat on Wednesday, November 15th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where she will be talking about her transition from business development to customer success. I will be there. Hope to see you there as well. I know a few people have signed up. And lastly, for real, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live and every time we drop a new video. Like the video, share the video, all of that good stuff. And before I leave you, I have to play this on the way out.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I am definitely always entertained. And on that note, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.